Welcome back, guys. It is my pleasure to bring you this lesson today, this riff admiration. Basically what we're doing is we're taking albums from 1985, so the 40-year anniversary of these great albums from 1985, and maybe taking a riff or two off of those albums and just marinating in its glory. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do some marinating in the glory of Savatage today. Savatage, not sabotage. Savatage with a V. And this is from the Power of the Night record, which I said it came out in 1985. The song we're going to work on is basically the all of the riffs for the song Unusual. And it is a bit unusual. It's probably unusual to pick this song off of that album because there's so many other great ones, but this one was a recommendation or an ask from a student of mine to play this, and I've always loved this song, but never learned it before, so it was a good excuse for me to go and learn this song. Other great songs on here, of course, are the title track is probably the best song, is Power of the Night. What a classic, awesome riff. And that one is, back in 85, there wasn't a lot of bands that tuned down to a lower tuning. Savatage tuned their whole guitars down a whole step. So we're in D standard for this lesson. Power of the Night takes it a step further and then drops the low string another whole step. So you have like a drop D, but it's a whole step down, so it's really heavy. That's the same tuning, by the way, for the song Hall of the Mountain King. Just file that one in your brain if you didn't know that. This is a great tune. It's got some interesting syncopated parts. I didn't even play the thing about this one is you really need two guitars to pull off the complete sound, or the bass player maybe doing the lower guitar part and another guitar player doing this, or maybe a keyboard or something like that. But both of these things together are absolutely magical, and that's one of the things about Savatage that I love, is they have these magical atmospheres they create with their music, and it's everything all the way back to The Dungeons Are Calling and Sirens through Power of the Night has the same thing. The Fountain of Youth is a great song. This one here, By the Grace of the Witch, another great one on the Dungeons Are Calling, I think, and then all the way up through Hall of the Mountain King, magical. Gutter Ballet, magical. Streets, magical. It's just Edge of Thorns, another magical album. And then you get into some of the other stuff, which I think also has its moments, like Dead Winter Dead and The Wake of Magellan. I love those. I love all the Savatage albums. Fight for the Rock, there's some questionable songs on there. A couple of great ones like Red Light Paradise and Fight for the Rock's cool. And I think there's a couple more on there I like. You know, that's the only one I would say. Not sure what, the record label got their hands in there too much and messed with stuff. But everything else, very solid. Better than solid. Great stuff. And we apparently we're getting Savatage back in 2025. They're touring, albeit not with Jon Oliva at this time. Although he may join later, but of course you still have Chris Caffrey and Al Petrelli, kind of the Dead Winter Dead lineup. Jeff Plate on drums, Johnny Lee Middleton on bass, and then Zach Stevens on vocals. And I love those guys. All those guys are great players, great musicians. I'm sure they'll have someone doing some of the keyboard parts. Interesting to find out who that'll be, but just great. And then I hear they're doing a new album, and Mr. Oliva will definitely be on that. Speaking of Oliva, we can't go much further without talking about the guitar greatness of Criss Oliva, the brother of Jon. And this is a great example, this riff, of Criss using sliding octaves. This is something that's very integral to his style. You hear it all over the place. And it's just really cool how he does it, especially in combination with the other guitar part that's going on in this song. But what I mean is, those are octaves that where I'm playing one note on the 5th string and one note on the 3rd string, and muting the string in the middle. And creating a little melody line with the octave. It's super cool. Very much a Criss Oliva thing. So let's do this. Let's get started. Before we do that, though, if you're interested in the tab for this, I've made my own tab for this. There's no other tab for this lesson on the internet, so I'm happy to provide that here. It's down below in the description. You'll find my Patreon link, and that's where you go to get the tab for this lesson. Is over at Patreon. Also, I have a free gift for you guys. It's a free download. It's called 5 Blistering Licks to Light Up Your Fretboard. So check that out as well. Let's get started. This is, like I said, in D standard, so you want to tune down your entire guitar a whole step. Here's my low E string, which is now a D. And then if I play like a D chord here, if I play an E chord, let's do that. So there you go. So hopefully that helps. The whole guitar needs to come down a whole step if you want to play along. Of course, you can play this in standard tuning if you want to. It just won't sound as heavy, and you won't be able to play along with the recording. What else to say about this? Not much. There's a guitar solo at the beginning. We won't talk about that this time. I've done some other lessons on Criss Oliva's lead guitar playing, and we'll do some more. But on this one, we're just going to focus on the riffs of Unusual. So it starts out like this. It's a B chord, G, E, F sharp. These are all power chords. That repeats it. And then on that last F sharp chord is when the song kicks in with the solo. So once again, B, G, E, all power chords, F sharp. Let's go back to B, just repeat it. Now here's where it kicks in. Let's do that much. That's before the pre-chorus kicks in there. So we're gonna do hammer on from open to 2 on the low E string, and then we're just gonna mute that F sharp power chord. I'm just kind of muting the low string there, and then we're gonna play an F sharp chord. Pick it down, so it's F sharp. There's a little arrest in there, and then an A chord, A power chord. When I do the rest, I kind of do like a like that. So then it goes to a C5 power chord twice. So all that together. Back to the F sharp. Now this is pretty cool. So it's the F sharp, the same way as before. Now we're going to pull the third fret off on the A string to the open string, and then pick the A string open again. And then play 5 on the D string, and then we're going to go. Like that. So the 5 goes up to 7 with a slide. Pick it again. Slide it back to 5. Pull off to 4. So it should sound like this. Okay, so that's the same thing, and it'll be repeated twice. So let me play that. Okay, so we're into the pre-chorus here, and it's E minor, or it's E minor, the key of E minor briefly, but basically what we're doing is playing E5 power chord, like that, and then the C5 power chord like that, so then up to a D5 power chord, and then we play B5 to D5. All that should sound like this. Back to the E. So there's a little lick that goes into the chorus. The last one is down to C to the D, and then instead of going to the B, you do this. That's 3 on the A string, 2 on the A, pull off to A, and then do the 2 to pull off to the open A again, and then 3 on the low E. So it should sound like this. Okay, so here's the whole pre-chorus. Okay, so now we're into the chorus. So after we do there's 2 guitar parts. I'm going to show you the low part first. Okay, that's basically what it is, and then repeats that twice. And it's syncopated. It's a little tricky. Syncopated means you're playing on an upbeat instead of a downbeat. You can tell I'm doing an upbeat because my pick's going in an up direction. Now the pickup chords here are E power chords, then an F power chord. Back to the F sharp. So you're just doing this. Notice I'm muting quite a bit. After this initial hammer on, there's quite a bit of muting there. That 4th fret on the D string is not muted. That should pop out. That's how you do it slow. A little quicker. Back into the verse. Now, while this is going on, you get this. Okay, there's a little melody that's going over, so it corresponds with when you go to this part here. That corresponds with, you hear it, right? So what you're gonna do is play the 9th fret with your index finger on the A string, and then play the 11th fret with your pinky on the G string, and keep that spacing. Okay, so every time you move your index finger, you're gonna have your pinky 2 frets higher on the G string. So here's what we have. We're gonna play 9 on the A string, and 11 on the G, and then we're gonna slide up to 12 and 14 A and G, and then slide back one more fret, slide back 1 fret to 11 and 13. So you get this. Play that again and go up to 12. Pick it 2 more times. Back to 11, and then pick it again. So and then the pickup bars. I say pickup because you're leading back into the main riff. Okay, here's the second one. And this time it's 9 to 12, back to 11. Same as the first. chorus, but this time I'm going to go 11, 12, up to 14. So it's 11, slide up to 12, pick 12 two more times, and then go from 12 to 14. And then play 14 one more time. And then the pickup. So those two together. Whoops. Let's try that again. Those two together. Third time's the same as the first. Now here's where it gets a little different. You're going to go straight to 12 and then straight to 15. So it'd be like this. Kind of that evil sounding there. And that's, again, you're going from the F sharp up to 12, so it'd be 12A, 14G, 15A, 17G. Okay, and then you're back into the main riff. So it's a beautiful thing how those two parts go together. What I'm gonna do now is play it from the very beginning. And the first time when we get to the chorus, I'm going to play the low part. And then the second time through the chorus, I'll play the higher part. Okay, and then hopefully you can go listen to the song, listen to the original, try it out for yourself. Okay, here we go. Back into the verse, the whole thing repeats. Again, I just played half and half on the chorus there, just so you could see. And if you're, if you're playing along, you could play either part, or mix it up. Or if you have another guitar player friend, take each one of you take a part and see how it sounds put together. It will be awesome. Okay, so here's the arpeggio section. Full disclosure, I'm editing this into the first part of the first pass through the video that I recorded, because I actually forgot I was going to include this, but it's really cool and I want you guys to have it. And so this is right before the solo. So there's two parts. There's a high part and a low part played at the same time, so you can pick whichever one you want. Let me show you the higher part first. So it's got this rhythm to it. Okay, so the whole part together. Okay, then it repeats, but let's start with there. F sharp minor, arpeggio. This is all alternate picked, although you could probably experiment with different ways to play it. It kind of reminds me of something Michael Schenker would do, like on Into the Arena or something like that. But this is 9 on the A, 7 D, 11 D. Just like that. And that much, then you're going to move to the next arpeggio, which that was F sharp minor. This is E flat minor, or you can think of it as D sharp minor, I guess would be the theoretical. Usually if you're in a sharp key, you want to keep the chords named sharp, so we'll call this D sharp minor. We're going to come back to B minor. So this was this is all the same picking pattern, just different strings in different places you're playing them. So we had D sharp here on 13, 11, and what is that, 15? And then we have B minor. We're on the D string and the G string now. 9, 7, and 11. Back to the F sharp we started with. 9, 7, and 11 on the A and the D. Just that much of it. Actually, it does that. Make sure you check out the tab over at Patreon if you have any confusion here. We'll play all of that for you at a slower tempo. On this last F sharp, we're going to go up to play 12 on the A string twice, and then 11 on the A string once. So then it repeats. But this time, we go from F sharp minor to D minor. Only difference there is we're going to play, instead of 13, 11, 15, we're going to play 12, 10, 14. Same thing down to B minor. And then to end it, instead of going back to F sharp, we play 6 and 7 with a slow trill on the G string. And then the solo kicks in. And by the way, the solo is over the chorus section. So you already know that. So if you don't know the solo, you don't want to play the solo, you want to play the whole song, just play the rhythm part of the chorus behind the guitar solo. So here's that whole, all those parts put together, kind of at a medium tempo. Okay, now the lower guitar part is playing the same thing, but at a on the lower octave. So same notes, but an octave down. And that makes this a little tricky to play because there's an open string in there. So the notes are 2 on the low E, open A, 4 on the A, and back to 2. I'll go to the E flat minor, 6, A, 4D, 8, D. I'm going to play B minor now. This one goes like this. 2 on the A, open D, 4th fret D, then back to 2 on the A. And then we go back to the F sharp minor. Whoops. And we do that same thing where we end. 5 twice and then 4 once on the low E. It repeats. F sharp. D minor. So it's 5A, 3D, 7D. B minor. And then your slow trill is from 4 to 5 on the A string. Okay, so let me do that section, and then we'll be done. Here we go. And that's the whole thing. Make sure, and if you do need help with this, head on over to Patreon. Once again, I want to thank my buddy Chris G, who is also a Patreon member, for recommending this song. And please excuse the sun glaring in my eyeballs here. But he's a member of my Patreon as well as being a online student of mine, and he recommended this. So I'm always open to recommendations and stuff for riffs and songs, and for that matter, it doesn't have to be songs or riffs. It could be lesson topics. If you guys want to know more about scales and licks and theory and all that stuff, you can recommend that stuff as well. But for now, that's it, guys, and I'll see you next time. Rock on.